Hey, what's up YouTube? Thank you for checking out this video. I am the Dude Without Fear. If at any point during this video I say something that you like or you agree with, or I show you something that you think is cool, give me that thumbs up, because that tells YouTube that you like this video and other people might like it too. Also, leave me comments. I love reading your comments. I love interacting with you people. That's the whole reason. That's not the whole reason. It's part of the reason that I started a YouTube channel to begin with, was to talk about comics with people, other comic book fans. So leave me a comment. I love your comments. And if you haven't subscribed already, click that subscription button, because I'll be uploading more content like this. So I was sitting here reading a perfectly good comic book, and you know, I started thinking about it. Had been since before Thanksgiving that I've been to a dollar bin, and you know, I was sitting here and I was like, man, this comic's great and all, but what comics are out there in those dollar bins just waiting for me to rescue them? And you know, you just get this, there's just this call, this irresistible pull to bring you back into the dollar bin. And so I went to technically a grand opening, I guess you could say. A comic shop in my local area moved to a new location, so it was the first day that they were open at the new spot, which means freshly stocked dollar bins, baby. So I was there when the doors opened, and I'm going to show you what I found. Now, keep in mind, I'm not going to break this video up into multiple parts like I have in the past. I'm just going to show it all to you in one video. So if you don't want to watch it all right now, that's cool. That's fine. You can always come back and pick up where you left off. So, how many books did I get? How much did I spend? And was that actually how much I spent? What do you mean, dude? Check out this haul, and then we'll talk about it. Alright, so I'm trying to be more focused in my buying, especially in dollar bins, but there's sometimes just random stuff that I come across that I don't know, I can't explain it. I have to get it and give it a shot and see what it's like. There's just something about it that piques my interest, and so I gotta pick it up. So this one I actually picked up last week from my local comic shop. It wasn't in a dollar bin, but it only cost $1. And it was, I mean, it's a 12-cent issue of Strange Adventures from DC Comics. It's number 194. It's from 1966, and it's $1. And I mean, it's hard to pass up a Silver Age book for $1. And I mean, just looking at it from the cover, from the front, you know, it's got the dog ear here and a little bit here, and the spine's got some stuff on it. But otherwise, I mean, it's got some wrinkle, but it looks okay. I was like, is it water damage? Like, why is it $1? But if I've learned anything from watching Jambo Comics, it's, you know, if you find a book that's this old and it's just $1, then why not get it? So in the spirit of Jambo, I went ahead and I picked up the book. And so the reason that it's only $1 is because on the back, this cover is obviously water damaged, because it's got all this growtiness up top here. And also the back cover is in half, and the top half is stuck to the back page, which was obviously a really awesome ad for this Batman Magic photo kit. So that's kind of sucky that I don't get to see the full page ad, but still, it's $1, a Silver Age book. Never read A Strange Adventures, so I look forward to reading that comic. Now, from the dollar bin, I got X-Force #1, and this is, see the gold kind of foily background? That's because this is the second printing of the book, and I've only seen this one other time and I didn't get it, and I regretted not getting it, so I got it this time. It's only like the second time I've ever seen a second printing of this book in the wild. I see the first printing all the time, but I never see the second printing, so I wanted to get it. It's not like it's a super rare book or anything. You can go get it for like $5 on eBay if you wanted to, but I wanted to get it. It's X-Force 1. It's Rob Liefeld in his heyday. I mean, look at that awesome wraparound cover. That's the good stuff right there, ladies and gentlemen. Also got X-Force number, what is that, 43? Yes. This is a Tony Daniel cover, and I'm trying to put that run of X-Force together, so anytime I see him in the dollar bin, I try to get him. I just recently started putting this X Factor run together. I want to get the original X Factor team. I want to get that run, and so this one was in really good shape, so I picked it up. So I obviously have Uncanny X-Men 294 in my collection. I've had it since I was a teenager. It's one of the biggest storylines from the 90s in X-Men, and of course I have this book, but I don't have one that's still in the poly bag, and this thing is in beautiful shape, so I wanted to get it just because it's still in the poly bag. Got the card in the back, Professor Xavier, good stuff. I picked up Uncanny X-Men Annual number 15. It's got a Mike Mignola cover on it, which is pretty cool. I pass up on annuals all the time, and I've come to the realization that I probably shouldn't do that, because with how things are currently in the collecting world, you never know when something's going to happen that's going to make one of these annuals that, you know, used to nobody wanted, suddenly become worth something. So I wanted to get it while I still could for $1. And this one's got some dirt on it right here. You can see some dirt on the white parts of it. And I might use this. I've recently taken to cleaning comics just a little bit, and nothing major, just some simple cleaning steps that you can do to improve your dollar bin books, and I might use this issue to do a video about that. If you would like to see that, leave me a comment down below and let me know. This is Astonishing X-Men number 9, Joss Whedon's Astonishing X-Men run. One of the greatest X-Men runs of all time. And I don't have the first 12 issues of it. I only have it in trade paperback form, so anytime I see the floppies, I try to get them. This is another book that I am collecting. I'm trying to get the whole run of Cable. And number 84, I've probably never seen this book before in the wild. These higher numbers of Cable are really rare around here, and anytime I see them, I try to pick them up. So issue 84 and issue 99. These right here especially, man, where they've changed the format of the cover, the different logo and the sidebar, like those. This era of Cable and Wolverine is so hard for me to find in the wild. So really glad to get that. This is around where I left off in my Wolverine buying. So I was really glad to get this one. It's in great shape. Wolverine 138 versus my boy Galactus. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to read that book. Legends of the DC Universe, number 1. This was actually in a bag with another issue of Legends, so this was actually only technically 50 cents. I didn't know it was in the bag. It's just kind of like a bonus. It's got a little bit of damage right here where the cover's got some peel on it. Looks like a tape peel, but for 50 cents, hard to beat. Number 2, number 4, number 6, which I may already have that one actually. Number 7, Green Lantern and Green Arrow Peacemakers by Denny O'Neil. Oh my gosh, super stoked to read this. And they had all 3 parts. Number 7, number 8, and number 9. They had number 10, which is a Batgirl story by Kelly Puckett, who wrote the Cassandra Cain run of Batgirl. Those first 25 issues of Batgirl by Kelly Puckett are some of the best comic books ever. They're just so fun. Issue 11. And speaking of Green Lantern, Green Arrow, I always get stoked when I see this era of Green Lantern in dollar bins because I love this era so much. And this isn't in the best shape. I mean, it's got like a crease here and some ticks along the spine. I mean, it's probably like in a 5.5, 6.0, but it's in good enough shape where I didn't mind paying $1 for it. Glad to have it. Got 93 as well, and I got 98, and I probably shouldn't have got this one because it's got this back cover part missing here, and had I known that when I bought it, I probably would have left it alone, but I didn't notice that until I had it home with me. But still, I mean, it probably doesn't matter very much, but it's just the principle of the thing, you know? And then Green Lantern number 123, which is the first solo issue after this era ended, so that's pretty cool. Green Lantern number 147. Green Lantern number 149, and then Green Lantern number 206. I really love this era of Green Lantern as well, the Green Lantern Corps. I don't have a lot of issues of this run, and I'm trying to get them all. It is just, they're just fun books, man. Very cool. And Kilowog, it's hard to beat Kilowog. You know what I'm talking about, you poozers? Speaking of Kilowog, how freaking rad is this communist propaganda poster cover with Kilowog on it? I mean, I don't know what it is about this. It just looks so cool to me. I am definitely not a communist, but I think that's a cool cover. What do you think, comrade? Tales of the Green Lantern Corps number 3. I probably shouldn't have got this one either. It's a little dinged up, but it's probably alright. It ain't no big deal. But like I said, I like the Green Lantern Corps, so I don't know if I've ever seen a Tales of the Green Lantern Corps book in person from that era. I bought issues 1 through 8 of this in a dollar bin when I was like 16 years old, and I've never gotten any more around that number. And so to find number 9, I was super stoked to get number 9. Even though I stopped because I didn't like Guy Gardner at the time, and so that's why I didn't buy this one way back in the day. But I've got it now. Green Lantern number 40, same run, Green Lantern Volume 3. Featuring the Flash. This is a little bit before Hal Jordan goes crazy and kills the Green Lantern Corps, and Kyle Rayner is introduced. I recently on Mercari found a whole run of Doom 2099 for super cheap, and I bought it, and I was disappointed to find that they were in worse condition than I thought. And so I found a couple issues to replace some of the more unattractive issues that came in the mail. So I got issues 2 and issue 7, and those are both in much better shape than the ones that I just got. So this series, I got issue 1 in a quarter bin, and I haven't read it yet, but when I worked at a comic book store in high school, it was my local comic shop that I went to for like 13 years, maybe longer than that. I went there a very long time. And so the guy that ran it, he didn't read comic books. He just kind of fell into the comic book business. And I asked him when I worked there, I was like, do you read any comic books at all? Because I was just like, how do you own a comic book store but you don't read comic books? And he was like, well, I read Majestic. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty good. And that's just always stuck with me. And so when I saw Majestic, I wanted to pick it up to give it a shot to see what my old comic book peddler used to read. And it's just always stuck with me. So I already had issue 1, so I found issues 2, 3, and 4 in this dollar bin. They're all in very, very good shape, like 9.0 type shape, 9.2s, maybe 9.4s on some of them. But I figure if the first 4 issues don't tell me if it's a book I want to continue reading, then I'll just, stop buying them and get rid of it. The last time I went to the dollar bins, I decided that I want to try to get the Batman and the Outsiders run, because I learned that it was created by Mike W. Barr and Jim Aparo, and they did all of them. And those are both 2 big names in the Batman era. In this Batman era, Jim Aparo is obviously one of the most famous Batman artists, and this is a Christmas issue, and y'all should know how much I love Christmas comics. And when I was doing 25 Days of Christmas Comics, I didn't know about this one until almost the very end of the 25 days. So I've never read this. I'm excited to read it. Looking forward to it. This one is The Outsiders. So this is the next volume without Batman. And this is also done by Mike W. Barr and Jim Aparo. And I really don't care about The Outsiders. Batman's the part of this that I care about, so I don't care about this volume of it. But I got this one because Batman is back. This is one of the random ones that I got. I don't collect Marvel Comics Presents. I currently have none of them. But I got this one because it was Wolverine and Daredevil, and those are 2 dudes that don't team up often, though they probably should. And I'm a huge Daredevil fan. It's issue 150 of Marvel Comics Presents. It's got this really 90s wraparound cover, but it's I love this Daredevil costume. He had this for a very short time, and I love that costume. So very 90s book. I'm looking forward to giving it a shot. This is the final issue of Thunderstrike. And Thunderstrike's a character that I'm kind of just recently getting into. And so this is the final issue of it. So I wanted to pick that up. Last time I was at this dollar bin, I found some issues of Miracle Man, the original Alan Moore Miracle Man series. And I was very shocked to find them in a dollar bin, but I found issue 2 this time, and it's not in terrible shape. It's probably like a fine, very fine condition, going more on the very fine side. But looking forward to reading that. I still haven't read any of them. Now, this is another random one. I don't collect this era of Justice League of America, but I was looking through the dollar bin and I saw this cover and I was like, whoa, what's going on? What's all the Justice League stuff doing in the trash can? And this, this cover reminds me, and it's probably an homage to that Spider-Man No More issue where he's thrown the Spider-Man costume away in the garbage. And so, it says, who is Paragon? And I saw all this and I was like, who is Paragon? So this cover did its job and got me to buy this book. This cover did its job and got me to buy this book because I don't care about the New Titans, but I do love the Joker, and I kind of like the Royal Flush Gang, if I'm being honest. But I bought it for the Joker, and I should have looked at it before I left the store. I should have checked, should have did my due diligence, because as I feared, it's not actually the Joker, but it's some Joker known as the Gambler. So that's disappointing. So I'll read it, or at least try to read it, and if I don't like it, I'll put it in my to get rid of pile. Last time I was at the dollar bin, I got some very early issues of this era of Green Arrow, and this is issue number 6. So it's right around that spot that I got the last time I went. So I went ahead and got this one too. It is in very, very good shape. Near mint book. Glad to get it. Green Arrow number 100. Got this cool foil cover, Where Angels Fear to Tread, written by Dixon and Amparo. And these foil covers like this are kind of, some of these can kind of be, typically more than $1, typically more in like the $8 to $10 range. So if I see these, I try to get them if it's something I'm interested in. And I like, oh man, his name is escaping me, Connor Hawk. I like that Green Arrow, so I picked it up. They also had issue 101, picked that up. They also had issue 126, which is part 3 of this modern day Green Arrow, Green Lantern crossover between Connor Hawk and Kyle Rayner. So I've never read that whole story, so I'm one issue closer to doing that. I don't know what this is, Thor the Worthy. It's a recent book because it's Marvel 80 years, but it's got Walter Simonson and Sal Buscema in the credits of it. So I figured I would pick it up and see what it was about. Thorian of the New Asgods. This is an amalgam comic, which is the aftermath of DC versus Marvel, one of the biggest events of the 90s. And this amalgam stuff is strictly nostalgia for me, and I've not read most of it. I read Spider-Boy and Dark Claw and the Iron Lantern and Challengers of the Fantastic. I've never read Orion, and I would kind of like to just get these amalgam books just because they're kind of cool. So I think it's the first time I've ever seen that book, so I picked it up. I picked up this Annihilation Nova number 1 because I got a couple of issues of this in that mega comic haul I got last summer, where I got like over 400 comics for $100. And so I think this only puts me at being one issue away from having all 4 of those. And in that haul, I got a lot of the Annihilation books. So I'm slowly putting that Annihilation story together through dollar and quarter bins. So it's something that's going to take quite a while to do, but I'm getting there slowly but surely. Punisher War Journal number 22. I've got a lot of these early War Journal books, so I went ahead and picked that up. Every time I've gone to this dollar bin, I keep finding more issues of The Question from Dennis Zonell and Dennis Cohen. And, you know, this is one of my favorite comics of all time. I love this run so much. I love The Question. He's one of my favorite characters. Denny O'Neill's one of my favorite writers. I love everything about this series. And so I was very happy to get number 2. And this, and you know, it's got some spine stuff. It's got spine roll and some dings on it. But I don't care. I love The Question, and I'm glad to get number 2 for $1. And even more than that, I'm glad to get number 1 for $1.
Yes! That's awesome.
And it's got some cover rubbing here where the ink has come off right there, and it's got a couple dings in the spine. But again, it's question number 1, man. If I found 300 of these in a dollar bin, I would get every one of them, because I love The Question so much, and I can't leave that in a dollar bin. Power Man and Iron Fist number 104. I really love Power Man and Iron Fist. The first issue I read of it was so interesting and so intriguing, and I didn't expect a lot from it, and it was surprisingly good. So I got it, and I've been trying to slowly put those together ever since. But I mean, it's really hard for me to find any that are in. I'm only getting them in dollar bins, and it's really hard for me to find any that are in decent enough shape. And so I come across them all the time, but a lot of times they're just too damaged for me to even bother. But this one's in very fine condition, so I picked it up. Got issue 7 of Airboy. I picked up some Airboys last time I was at the dollar bin, so I got this one as well. Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. The only reason I got this is because it's number 1, and Indiana Jones is awesome, and historically this isn't a comic that I would necessarily be interested in, but I recently read the Marvel adaptation of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I loved it. And it was surprising how much I loved it, because I figured it was just going to be, you know, I've seen the movie numerous times, and I figured it was just going to be not interesting to me because I've seen the movie. But I actually enjoyed it a lot, so I figured I'd give this a shot. Why not? Now this, over the last couple months, for whatever reason, I've been interested in seeing what this book was like, because this is Luke Cage in the 90s, and I've just been really interested in it. I've never read any of them, and I wanted to see what this era of Luke Cage was like. Had a number 1 in the dollar bin. I picked it up. It is in immaculate shape, man. It is in really good condition. This is definitely a 9.6, possibly a 9.8, but definitely a 9.6. And so I am very much looking forward to reading that. If it's crap, it's crap. I paid $1 for it, and I'll get rid of it. But who knows? It might be awesome. Who's Who update 88. I always try to get these Who's Who's if I can get them cheap and they're in decent condition. And this fit both of those. And this has such great entries in it, like Ma and Pa Kent and Steve Trevor and Amanda Waller and Alfred Pennyworth and Lana Lang. But it's got the Ultra Humanite in it, which my brother would really appreciate. But it's also got one of my favorite Batman villains, the Ventriloquist. And he is way pudgier here than I remember him being. But I love the ventriloquist so much. And this art is done by Norm Brayfogle, which is good because I am pretty sure that Norm Brayfogle is the artist that helped create him with Alan Grant.
That is correct.
Reign of the Superman, trying to put that storyline together. I've never actually read all of it. I've had parts of it forever. I've never read the whole thing, so I've been trying to put that together in the last year as I come across them in dollar bins. This is Man of Steel number 24. This is Supergirl in Action Comics number 686. Part of the Funeral for a Friend storyline, which I'm also trying to piece together. This is New Avengers Volume 3, number 2 by Jonathan Hickman. I got number 1 in one of the comic calls I did last year, and I read it, and I was pleasantly surprised at how good it was. So, I found a number 2. It is in immaculate shape, so picked that sucker up. Really glad to find that book because I've got 1 through 25 and 27 through, I don't know, a few more issues on. So I didn't have that one, so I was able to fill a little gap in Captain America Volume 4. And then this is Captain America and, which each story had a different guest star in it. This is number 634. Been really big into the 2099 stuff recently. I've always been interested in the 2099 stuff because I like futuristic stuff. And I know Ravage 2099 is probably garbage, and it's just never looked like something that was interesting at all to me. But it's number 1. I've never read it. It's got this gold foil cover, and these number 1s of the 2099 books are really rad. So I got it, if for nothing else, just to have the number 1 of it. I don't intend on getting the rest of it, unless for some reason it's amazing, but I doubt it. Marvel Fanfare number 46. This is an all Fantastic Four issue. Both stories, Marvel Fanfare Volume 1 has 2 stories in it. The first story in this one is a Fantastic Four story. The second story is also a Fantastic Four story, but it is a Ben Grimm story, and it is called The Day After, and is actually the day after he gets in the accident and turns into the Thing, from what I gather. I haven't read it yet, but it looks cool, so I'm glad to have that one. Near mint copy of Fantastic Four Unlimited number 1, guest starring Black Panther. This is a big old thick book, and happy to get that. I am very certain this is the only issue of Fantastic Four 2099 that I have ever seen in person in my life, because I did not know that this series existed until like sometime last year. Silver Surfer Warlock Resurrection number 1. I don't care about Adam Warlock. I could not care less about Adam Warlock, but I love the Silver Surfer. One of my favorite characters ever, and I'm trying to get every Silver Surfer comic ever, essentially, so this is one of them. So I don't have any of this miniseries, so found issue 1. It's in fantastic shape, so picked that sucker up. And as little as I care about Adam Warlock, that's about as much as I care about the Avengers West Coast, or West Coast Avengers. The only reason that I got this book, it's not because Captain America is in it, although that really helps it. I got it because in the event that while the guy who owns the store was counting these books, that if he saw this one with it, that he might let me still keep it, because this book got really hot over the last weekend, and because of WandaVision, and this thing was selling for like 50-60 bucks on eBay. So I wasn't not aware of this book's presence, because like I said, I don't care about the West Coast Avengers, but this is supposed to have the origin of Kang in it, and that intrigued me. So I'm going to read this, and if it's awesome, then I will keep it. But if I don't enjoy this comic, I know that I can sell it and get all, if not some, of what I spent on this comic haul today. So I was very thrilled to find that book. And then the last one I got was this Marvel Age number 70 with this She-Hulk in a bikini cover. It was done by it's a John Byrne cover. It's got Scarlet Witch and Vision on it. I only bought this cover because I thought that there was probably some perv out there who would buy this cover because She-Hulk is in a bikini. And from looking on eBay, I was correct. So I'm probably just going to sell this one, and most likely sell this one too. And hopefully between these two books, I can pay for all of these comics that I got in the dollar bin. At least get really close to it. So that's how I'm trying to do it these days, ladies and gentlemen. So I got 59 comics, but I thought I got 58 because there was 2 in one bag. So 59 comics for $58. I'm not dealing with taxes here. So, and I did put that West Coast Avengers book on eBay. I did read it. It was okay. The Scarlet Witch part of it was really good. The rest of it was just kind of meh. So I sold it, and I put it up on eBay, sold it within 24 hours. I was the cheapest one of those on eBay, so that's why it sold so quickly. I wish that the prices were still up as they were last weekend, because like I said, it was selling for like 50-60 bucks. They had dropped down to like 30-35 bucks. I sold mine for 30 bucks, minus shipping and eBay fees. I got $26 out of that transaction. So about 34 bucks for 59 comic books. Not too shabby. I've got the She-Hulk Marvel Age still for sale. That one may not sell as quickly, but I'm again the cheapest one on eBay. And so yeah, so that's what I've been trying to do. I've not necessarily been trying to purchase less books, which I am honestly I am trying to do that. But if I do buy books, I'm also trying to sell stuff that I don't necessarily want, or stuff that I find that I don't really want, but I know other people do. And so I'm trying to let my hobby fund my hobby as much as I can, so that I'm not using as much money for my hobby. The hobby is bringing in money for itself. And so that's kind of my comic collecting goal for this year, is to spend less money on comic books, because I'm making more money on comic books. But I'm not going to do it to the point where it's stressing me out or anything like that. If I see something that I know I can sell and I can get it for a good price, I'll go ahead and pick it up and then flip it. But I'm not going to actively search for something that I can go flip. I've played that game, and I don't like that game. It takes the fun out of the hobby for me. So again, let me know what you thought of this video. Sorry it was so long, but hopefully you enjoyed it. If you're still around, I appreciate you watching. As always, be excellent to each other. Take it easy.